to see if she could ask some questions. So I'm going to hop on out here for a second to have a quick
Sure.
question.
Cool. First off, Kari, fantastic to kind of meet you. It's a little different when we're not really face to face, but so one of my questions for you that I was messaging Gabe about was, I was just kind of curious on like your point of view of how the attitude towards women in the whole tattoo industry has evolved over the years.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And I'm going to lump that because I'll talk about the women in tattoo, but you know, there's also a racial thing involved there. Mm-hmm. So women in tattoo. So when I first started tattooing, I didn't personally think about it because I have mentioned this in interviews before, but I was raised by my father and I was never told I couldn't do something. So for me, getting into tattooing seemed a very natural thing. I didn't know, and I wasn't aware that there were women in tattoo shops all over until I started tattooing who were struggling. You know, they were being put in the back chair and basically ignored and not given the equal voice, let's say, taken advantage of in many ways. And I was very lucky because that didn't happen to myself in my shop, right? But it was happening to everybody else, you know, all over the world. And so that growth and that change for women is occurring. Has it stopped? No, of course, it hasn't completely stopped because it depends on where your shop is, the area that you're in, you know, the community that you have, the support you have, things of that nature. But it's great to see so many women tattooing because when I started tattooing, you know, I could count the women that I knew tattooing when I started on my hands. That was it. So now, you know, I'd say there's
a lot of us now.
Numbers. Yeah,
that's
there's
a lot.
Got to be equal numbers. It's fantastic. And, you know, that's also people of color, right? So we didn't have people of color tattooing that I was aware of at that time. You know, maybe we had some brown people, but very few, right? Very few. So that is starting to really grow and open up to everybody in this industry. And we have to be aware that tattooing is for everyone. It's not secluded to just men or white men. It should be inclusive of everyone. And I'm a strong advocate of that. And the women who are tattooing now are just absolutely amazing. I can't believe some of the work that's being done from everybody actually, but you know, there was a time when people would walk in my shop and I felt, okay, I have to do that. You know, I have to do that. But just because I had the courage to try, I guess, where some of my crew was scared to try. And I think that women were scared to do that. You know, they were scared to step up, right? And I think now they're all stepping up and proving that they're amazing, how great their art is, that they're strong, and that they can carry this industry forward alongside the men.